Today we are going to discuss this 7th grade topic, a very important one in biology called fiber to fabric. So before I go over the details, I will do a very brief recap. What is a fabric? You're saying fiber to fabric, but just do a recap of what fabric is. Fabric is nothing but the material used in the clothes you're wearing currently. Got it, right? It's the material used in the clothes you're wearing. What is fiber? So fabric is obtained by processing the fibers. Just memorize until that part. We get fabric from fiber. Now let us understand the different kinds of fibers. What are these fibers? We have two types of fibers, animal fibers and plant fibers. We are done discussing plant fibers in our 6th grade. Example of plant fiber is cotton. Just I'm doing a brief recap. So today we are concentrating on animal fibers, and the two important animal fibers are silk and wool. So now first let us discuss where we get this wool from. Wool is obtained from the fleece or fine hair which is present on the body of sheep, goat, camel, rabbit, etc. So these the wool bearing animals are typically present in cold regions like Himalayas, where there is a lot of snow and the climate is extremely cold over there. So animals develop this kind of thick fur to protect themselves from the extreme weather. Okay, they don't have jackets, right? So they develop this fur. So the question is, how do we get wool from? How do we get wool? Wool comes from goat, sheep, yak, camel, etc. Let me put this. These animals are found etc. of very cold regions. So wool comes from goat, sheep, yak, camel, rabbit, etc. of very cold regions. So these let's put this in braces. Okay, so normal goats that we see in our southern parts of India do not have so much fur because they don't need so much fur. It's so hot over here. So nature will take care of it. So mostly in India, the source of fur is sheep. Though there are other animals which give out fur, but in India we mainly depend on the fur of sheep. So you're seeing the sheep fur here. So this type of sheep are not found in Hyderabad, so or any southern parts or in other parts of India. They're only found in Himalayas. I mean that kind of places where it's very cold. So how do animals protect themselves in snow mountains or cold regions? So let us discuss how animals get protection in snow mountains. They don't have any shelter, right? How do they survive? And they don't have coats to wear also. How do they survive? So if I have to tell you a one-word answer, the mechanism used to protect them from extreme cold weather is insulation mechanism. You have to memorize this. It's insulation mechanism. Insulation means blocking heat. So an insulator is an object that does not allow heat to pass through them. So these animals typically wear surround their body with insulator so that the body heat from the heat from their body does not go out, because they wear a blanket of insulator so that the body heat will not run out of the body, so they are kept warm. So what is that insulator they are covering their body with. Let me explain what the insulator is. So the animals, like we discussed earlier, animals in cold regions will develop lot of fur, a thick layer of fur on their body. This fur is kind of curly. See, it is thick and curly. So when air gets in, the air gets trapped inside the fur. So air cannot come out. And so the body, there's lots of air that is that gets trapped inside their fur. So, and this air is a extremely good, I mean very good insulator. So it does not let heat to pass through it. So it does not, this air that is trapped inside the sheep fur will block the body heat from going out. That's how sheep are kept warm in extreme cold weathers. Likewise, all other animals that develop fur, like we discussed it, sheep, goat, camel, rabbit, etc., etc. So air, the air. To explain you in a simple way, air is the best insulator, one of the best insulators, and this air gets trapped in the curly hair on the body of the sheep, and it stops the heat from going out of sheep's body. The air stops the heat from going out of sheep's body, so the sheep is kept warm. And the next thing is, how about birds? Birds don't have fur, right? They have wings that have a lot of feathers. So what they do is they just fluff up the feathers. Fluffing means just spreading them so that it looks bulkier. So in the feathers, again the air gets trapped and it insulates the heat in the body, so the bird's body will not become cold. Next is animals like whales and dolphins that will be swimming in very cold water, very cold water. How do they survive? They are very bulky, right? If you see any of the whale movies, they have very bulky bodies. So these bulky bodies, the fat, a thick layer of fat will be present on their body. So this fat is again a very good insulator, so it does not let heat to flow out of the body. So these whales, dolphins, all these bulky animals will keep themselves warm. Even for that matter, fish, they have a thick coat of fat, right? That fat will is again a good insulator, so it does not let body heat to go out. So summary of this question: all these animals protect themselves from extreme cold weather by a mechanism called insulation. The air is an insulator in case of sheep, goat, and all these animals. Air gets trapped inside their hairs, inside their curly hairs on their body, and that acts as insulator and blocks the body heat from going out. So similarly, birds, and then mammals. For mammals like dolphins, it's only the fat that acts as insulator. So air and fat are the important insulators in this case, animals case. Next is, what do you mean by selective breeding? So when you are trying to make coats, naturally the farmers, the breeders, the people who raise the sheep to get fur from their body are called breeders. Breeders means who raise sheep or any other animal. So these breeders will want to have sheep with thick coat of hair on their body. Like if you see the sheep in our areas, they don't have this thick fur, right? They don't have so much hair. So what you want is a sheep with thick hair. What do you do with the sheep that we get here? They don't have that much thick fur. So you cannot make a coat out of their hairs. So they're very small, very tiny hairs will be there here. So these breeders will want to get sheep with a particular character. What is that particular character? Lots of hair. So the process, they do it by selecting parents, the parent sheep with lots of wool on them. Like for example, they select this type of parents, so that the offsprings born, or the children that are born to this type of sheep with a lot of hair, will also have lot of hair. Like naturally children will look like parents, right? So the sheep that are born to this type of sheep with a lot of body hair will naturally have lot of hair. So they select animals, they select parents to get offspring